Every 10 minutes, an older adult suffers a stroke in the United States. That's not a statistic. That's a person. A father, a grandmother, a neighbor, someone who, just moments earlier, may have been walking, laughing, or taking their daily vitamins, completely unaware that their greatest health risk was already building silently inside their bloodstream. And here's the part no one's talking about. Some of the very supplements older adults take to stay healthy may be increasing their risk of stroke. It sounds shocking even backwards, I get it. After all, we've spent decades believing that vitamins are always a good thing, that more nutrients mean more protection. But here's what I've learned after years of research in patient care in aging and stroke prevention. For people over 60, taking the wrong kind of vitamin, or even the right kind in the wrong form or dose, can be dangerous. We're not just talking about obscure, experimental pills. We're talking about common over-the-counter vitamins like vitamin E, vitamin A, B6, and B12, supplements you or someone you love might be taking right now. These compounds in certain forms can thin the blood excessively, increase clotting, or damage the tiny vessels that feed the brain, all without warning, all without symptoms, until it's too late. And the worst part? Most seniors have no idea this is happening. They're doing what they've been told, taking their daily multivitamin, eating fortified cereals, and popping brain support pills, believing they're doing the right thing. So let's ask the uncomfortable but necessary question. Are the vitamins in your cabinet helping you or quietly harming you? In today's episode of Healthy Senior Now, we'll uncover 5 vitamins that could be silently increasing stroke risk in adults over 60 and show you what safer, smarter choices you can make instead. Let's begin with the one that shows up in nearly every healthy aging product. Synthetic vitamin E, also known as DL-alpha tocopherol. You've probably been told that vitamin E is essential for aging well, that it protects your heart, sharpens your brain, and supports your skin. That's not entirely wrong. But here's something most people don't realize. The kind of vitamin E you're taking matters a lot. Most seniors get their vitamin E from multivitamins, and the version found in nearly all of them is called DL-alpha tocopherol. That little DL is important. It means synthetic, made in a lab, not found in nature. And your body doesn't handle it the way it does natural vitamin E. Synthetic E doesn't just work poorly, it can actually disrupt your body's natural balance. It blocks more beneficial forms of vitamin E, like gamma and delta tocopherol, which play crucial roles in reducing inflammation and protecting blood vessels. When you take synthetic E regularly, especially at higher doses, it thins your blood, and that's where the real danger begins. Now, blood thinning might sound good if you're worried about clots, but in older adults, where blood vessels are more fragile, thinning the blood too much increases the risk of something far worse: hemorrhagic stroke, a type of stroke caused by bleeding in the brain. According to a study published in the British Medical Journal, vitamin E supplements, particularly in synthetic form, were linked to a 22% higher risk of hemorrhagic stroke. That risk goes up even more if you're already taking blood thinners like aspirin, warfarin, or Plavix. Here's the scary part: there may be no warning at all. Or you might experience subtle symptoms: bruising more easily than usual, nosebleeds that take longer to stop, lightheadedness, blurred vision, sudden, unexplained headaches. These signs often go ignored or blamed on just getting older. But in reality, your blood chemistry could already be off balance. So what can you do? Start by reading your supplement labels. If it says DL-alpha tocopherol, that's synthetic, and you should seriously consider stopping it. Instead, look for the natural form, D-alpha tocopherol with mixed tocopherols. This better mimics what your body uses naturally and supports vascular health. Even better, get your vitamin E from food. 1 ounce of sunflower seeds gives you more than 7 milligrams of natural vitamin E. Other great options include avocados, spinach, hazelnuts, and almonds, all of which come packaged with other antioxidants and nutrients your body can use efficiently. And if you're taking blood thinners or have a history of cardiovascular issues, don't make changes without talking to your doctor. Sometimes, even a simple multivitamin can quietly interfere with your medication or tip the scales on your blood health. 2. Synthetic vitamin A, retinol palmitate. Now let's talk about vitamin A, a nutrient that's often labeled as essential for vision, skin, and immune health. That's true in the right form and dose. But what many people don't realize is that one particular type of vitamin A, called retinol palmitate, can quietly become harmful, especially for older adults. Retinol palmitate is the preformed synthetic version of vitamin A. It's commonly added to multivitamins, fortified cereals, milk, and even skin supplements aimed at seniors. The idea is that since aging eyes and skin often weaken, adding vitamin A can help keep things sharp and smooth. But here's the catch. Your body stores this type of vitamin A in the liver, and unlike water-soluble vitamins, it doesn't just flush out when you have too much. Over time, and especially in older adults whose liver function slows with age, it builds up silently. And once it crosses a certain threshold, it stops being helpful and starts causing damage. One of the biggest concerns? It can shrink or narrow the tiny blood vessels in the brain, which increases the risk of ischemic stroke, a type of stroke caused by restricted blood flow. That risk grows even higher when retinol palmitate is combined with cod liver oil or other vitamin A-rich products, which many people take together, thinking more is better. A study published in Stroke, 2014, found that elevated serum retinol levels were strongly associated with higher stroke risk, especially in people over 65. And here's what's more alarming. This damage doesn't come with loud warning bells. It often shows up subtly, and by the time it's caught, the buildup has already done its job. Early symptoms of vitamin A overload may include persistent headaches, blurred or double vision, nausea or dizziness, spontaneous nosebleeds, sudden mood swings or irritability. These are often brushed off as just getting older, but they can actually reflect increased intracranial pressure, a red flag that something's not right with the brain circulation. So what can you do? First, check your supplement labels. If you see retinol palmitate or retinol acetate listed as the source of vitamin A, think twice, especially if you're already eating a balanced diet or consuming fortified foods. Instead, choose beta-carotene from whole food sources. This is a provitamin A found in vegetables like carrots, sweet potatoes, spinach, and butternut squash. Your body only converts as much beta-carotene as it needs, so there's almost no risk of overdose. If you're taking vitamin A for eye health, opt for formulas that combine beta-carotene with lutein and zeaxanthin. These protect your vision without harming your blood vessels. And if you've been using synthetic vitamin A for months or years, it may be wise to ask your doctor for a liver enzyme test and serum retinol check, just to make sure things haven't built up too far. Remember, the goal isn't to scare you off vitamins. The goal is to use the right ones, the right way, for your age and health status. 3. High-dose or poor-quality Ginkgo Biloba. For decades, Ginkgo Biloba has been marketed as one of the best natural supplements for memory, mental clarity, and cognitive protection, especially for older adults. It's often found in capsules, teas, and energy blends, promising to sharpen your brain and slow age-related decline. And yes, in the right form and dose, it can improve blood circulation to the brain. But here's where things take a dangerous turn. Ginkgo contains active compounds, mainly ginkgolides and bilobalides, that act as vasodilators and mild anticoagulants, meaning they expand blood vessels and thin the blood slightly. That's why people believe it helps with memory. But when the dosage is too high, or the product is poorly regulated, that gentle effect can become extreme, especially in older bodies. Aging blood vessels are already more delicate and prone to rupture. Add in Ginkgo's blood-thinning effect, and now combine that with aspirin, ibuprofen, or prescription blood thinners like warfarin, and you've created a cocktail that can increase the risk of spontaneous brain bleeding. In fact, a 2018 study published in Neurology found that seniors over age 60 who took high-dose ginkgo supplements had a 38% higher risk of hemorrhagic stroke. That's not a small number. And to make matters worse, the supplements on store shelves aren't all equal. Cheaper brands often lack proper standardization, meaning the actual amount of active ingredients varies wildly from one pill to the next. Some contain far more gingolides than what's printed on the label. Others are spiked with synthetic fillers to enhance their effects. The body doesn't know how to process that inconsistency, especially not an older body, and that can lead to trouble. Here's what to watch out for. Early symptoms of ginkgo-related complications can include sudden dizziness, unusual fatigue, slurred speech, headaches that appear out of nowhere, difficulty focusing or thinking clearly. These are not just bad days. They could be signs of microbleeds in the brain, the kind that build up before a larger stroke happens. So what should you do? First, if you're taking Ginkgo Biloba, stop and read the label. Look for standardized extracts that say 24% flavone glycosides and 6% terpene lactones. These are the active compounds that have been studied and shown to be safer within specific limits. Avoid cheap, unverified brands that don't provide these numbers. And if you're already on a blood thinner, even over-the-counter pain relievers, you should talk to your doctor before continuing ginkgo. The combination can be dangerous, especially if you're over 60. Looking for safer alternatives to support brain health? Try adding foods rich in natural nitrates, like beets or arugula, which naturally improve blood flow to the brain without affecting clotting. You can also explore omega-3 fatty acids, especially from fatty fish or algae oil, which reduce inflammation and support cognitive function without thinning the blood too much. Ginkgo isn't evil, but it's often misunderstood and misused. When it comes to aging brains, precision matters more than popularity. A well-intentioned supplement, taken in the wrong form or dose, can quietly undo the very protection you were hoping for. 4. High-dose vitamin B6. Vitamin B6 is often seen as a safe, friendly supplement, especially for seniors. It's marketed as a natural way to support brain health, energy, and nerve function, and it's found in everything from multivitamins to anti-fatigue drinks and nerve support formulas. But here's what most people, and unfortunately, even some doctors don't realize. When taken in high doses over time, vitamin B6 can become toxic, especially for older adults. Let's break it down. Vitamin B6 is water-soluble, meaning the body can flush out the excess in theory. But as we age, liver and kidney function decline, making it harder to eliminate vitamins efficiently. This means what used to be safe when you were 35 might accumulate dangerously at 65 or 70. And B6 toxicity doesn't scream, it whispers. It silently damages your nervous system, particularly the peripheral nerves, the ones responsible for movement, balance, and sensation. What's even more concerning is that high doses of B6, especially above 100 milligrams per day, can also raise homocysteine, a harmful amino acid linked directly to stroke, blood vessel inflammation, and cognitive decline. Several studies have confirmed this. A 2017 report in Clinical Nutrition tracked more than 5,000 older adults and found that those who took long-term, high-dose B6 were almost twice as likely to develop sensory neuropathy, a condition that causes tingling, numbness, and unstable walking. And when B6 interacts with other B vitamins, especially in megadose formulas, it can paradoxically increase homocysteine instead of reducing it, creating exactly the problem many people are trying to avoid. The symptoms can be subtle at first. Numbness or tingling in the hands or feet, lightheadedness when standing, unsteady gait or difficulty balancing, muscle twitching or fatigue, brain fog or unusual forgetfulness. Many seniors assume these are just signs of aging, but they may actually be early warnings that your nervous system is under stress from too much B6. So what's the safe path forward? Start by checking your total B6 intake, not just from one bottle, but from everything you're taking: multivitamins, energy drinks, and nerve support supplements. If your daily total exceeds 50-100 milligrams, that's your red flag. Next, ask your doctor for a homocysteine blood test. If it's elevated, it could be a sign that B6 is no longer helping, it's hurting. To bring things back into balance, cut back on B6 supplements and instead focus on food-based sources. Eggs, leafy greens, bananas, chickpeas, and salmon offer plenty of natural B6 in safe amounts and come with other nutrients that support your body's detox and repair systems. Also, avoid time-release B6 formulas unless specifically prescribed. These can build up slowly and cause long-term damage before symptoms appear. Remember, in the world of vitamins, more is not always better, especially when it comes to your nerves and brain health. Precision matters, and awareness can make all the difference. 5. Injectable vitamin B12, cyanocobalamin. Vitamin B12 is one of the most recommended supplements for seniors, and for good reason. It plays a critical role in nerve function, red blood cell production, and brain health. As we age, the body's ability to absorb B12 from food declines, so it's no surprise that injections and high-dose supplements are often prescribed to boost energy, improve memory, and prevent cognitive decline. But here's the catch. Not all B12 is created equal, and the form most commonly used in injections, called cyanocobalamin, could be causing more harm than good when used incorrectly. Cyanocobalamin is a synthetic form of B12. It's inexpensive, widely available, and often used in clinics and vitamin shops for quick brain boosts. But what's rarely explained is that when your body processes this form of B12, it releases a small amount of cyanide, yes, cyanide, as a byproduct. Under normal circumstances, your liver detoxifies this quickly. But in older adults, especially those with reduced liver or kidney function, this byproduct can accumulate over time. Beyond the cyanide concern, cyanocobalamin has also been linked to elevated levels of homocysteine, a harmful amino acid that thickens the blood, inflames the blood vessels, and increases the risk of clotting. A 2020 study published in the journal Stroke found that seniors who received frequent B12 injections, particularly cyanocobalamin, were up to 3.5 times more likely to experience an ischemic stroke, especially when the B12 was combined with high-dose folic acid. Here's what's happening inside the body. Excess cyanocobalamin increases homocysteine, which causes the inner lining of your arteries, called the endothelium, to become inflamed and sticky. That makes it easier for clots to form. Combine that with thicker blood and slower circulation in older age, and it creates a perfect storm for a silent stroke. The warning signs aren't always obvious, but here are a few to watch for. Sudden confusion or brain fog, weakness on one side of the body, blurred or double vision, difficulty speaking or forming words, lightheadedness, especially after a B12 injection. If any of these occur shortly after receiving B12, it's not something to ignore even if it passes quickly. So what's the safer alternative? First, make sure you're not taking B12 just because you're older. Always verify a true deficiency with a blood test. If you do need supplementation, ask for methylcobalamin, the natural, bioactive form of B12 that your body can use immediately without producing toxic byproducts. Unlike cyanocobalamin, methylcobalamin doesn't release cyanide, doesn't spike homocysteine, and is generally better tolerated, especially for those with compromised detox pathways. If you're using B12 as part of general maintenance and not correcting a deficiency, lower doses taken a few times per week, 250 to 500 mg are typically sufficient and far less risky. Bottom line, vitamin B12 is essential, but like any nutrient, too much of the wrong form can do more harm than good. For older adults, precision is key, and methylcobalamin offers the brain benefits of B12 without the vascular risks that come with its synthetic counterpart. You've spent a lifetime taking care of others, your children, your spouse, your work, your home. Now, it's time to take care of yourself with the same patience, kindness, and wisdom you've given so freely to the world. Vitamins, like all things, are neither good nor bad on their own. They're like medicine, like words, like choices. They only become powerful for better or worse, depending on how and when they're used. And in the second half of life, your body doesn't need more noise, it needs clarity. It doesn't need more stuff. It needs what's right, what's gentle, and what truly nourishes. So, no, this isn't about fear. It's about awareness. It's about knowing that even well-meaning habits like popping a multivitamin every morning deserve a second look. Because every capsule you take is a conversation with your body. And after 60, those conversations matter more than ever. You deserve to feel light on your feet, to think clearly, to move freely, to wake up every day not wondering what's wrong with me, but smiling at how much is still right. So take the time, read the labels, ask questions, and above all, trust that it's never too late to do something good for yourself. Your health isn't behind you. It's here right now in the choices you're making today. And here at Healthy Senior Now, we're walking this path with you, every step of the way.